And like I said, I'll be speaking on white coats and real cases, what they didn't teach you in vet school. When we came up with this topic, it was an eye opener to me because I realized that we had a lot of things that were not actually being taught, but we had to just learn on the job. And right there in vet school, when we were being told, when we were being advised, when we had some of those things, it was like uh we didn't know what they were saying. We didn't understand what they were saying. I'm sorry, I don't know why. Yeah, I think I should be able to share now. Okay, great. Can we see my screen now, please? Can we see my screen now, please?
Yes, the screen is on now.
All right. Clear enough to see?
Yes, yes. Just to confirm, I'm seeing white coats,
Yes.
real cases. Yeah, yeah.
All right. Thank you, sir. All right. So once again, congratulations and welcome to Vet Connect. I'm sure some of you have, seen us at probably your inductions. Vet Connect is the number one and the leading platform that actually recognizes the efforts of veterinarians, linking them to the labor markets, to clients, livestock farmers, vendors, and every other parastatal in the veterinary business world. As we all know, the essence of being a doctor, as much as the passion is very strong, is not just to be called a vet doctor, it's to actually make impact. And in return, is to have a fulfilled life, financially, morally, whatever definition of success, whatever success is to you, everything still boils down to having a fulfilled life. And of course, we cannot deny the fact that we need the people to interact with, which are our clients. And Vet Connect does that for you. Just like you can pick up your phone to order for a ride or order for a food from any of the app, you can also do that through Vet Connect. So I'm sure that we are signed up, especially the newly inducted vets. Please sign up on the website. And if you have any difficulty, which you shouldn't have, you can just let me know on our WhatsApp platform. That's the Vet Connect Vet WhatsApp platform. So once again, congratulations. We are having this discussion tonight to bridge the gap between vet school theory and the real world clinical practice. Like I mentioned earlier, it's not just everything cannot be taught in just 7 years of vet school or 6 years of vet school. Maybe probably you had 1 or 2 extra months of strike or holidays, that will make it extend a little bit. But despite, you cannot have everything taught in vet school. So this tonight, in just less than 20 minutes now, I'll be telling you, tough truths that I've experienced as a young practitioner. I'll be giving you some practical insights that have worked for me, and of course, some real case wisdom. So there's the reality of field practice, and there is the facade of what we are being taught in vet school. Please mind you, this is not to ridicule or to backlash or to water down the efforts of the veterinary faculty in any of our universities. Please, I want to make that very, very clear. Trust me, without that foundation, whatever we are discussing tonight, whatever you are going to learn on the field is zero. You need that academic foundation. You need to be certified by the faculty, by the council. You need to know what you are being taught. You need to know your anatomy, your biochemistry, your physiology, your medicine, your pharmacology, your surgery, your public health. You need to actually know them very, very well. Okay. But there is a reality after coming out, and this is not just to veterinary practice, even in the human medical world, there's that different world, and people come out and like, wow, in the VTH, in your school, while you are a student, they bring cases. You are not really involved in the process, in the managemental process. You are not really involved in what goes through the mind of probably the VTH director or your field supervisor or the consultant in charge. You do not know, or probably you are limited by what you want to gain, what you want to learn from there, which is just the medicine. But as a clinician, like a doctor, Professor Eshiro will say, you have to be economically sound. You need to know that, it is not just the medicine that is important. So when you graduate, or now that you have graduated, the days of sent to pathology, sent to theriogenology, sent to this one, sent to that one, because you have array of departments that you can send to. As a clinician, before you become like Dr. Tessie, that has all those departments now in our hospital, you need to know that you are the vet, you are the laboratory technician, you are the laboratory diagnostician, you are the pharmacist, you are the nurse, you are the surgeon, you are the everything, you are the pathologist. You have to do everything. You have to take the responsibility for everything. Not like, they brought a case and you're saying, I refer to surgery, I refer to pathology. No, everything is coming directly at your chest and you will feel it. So there are also sometimes that you be on the field and you might not be opportune to second opinions. Right there, the client is looking at you right there, and you need to make a decision. And let me also make it known now that saying I cannot undo this yet, that's one of the biggest mistake of a young veterinary practitioner. Saying that because you believe that is showing you off as a weak vet. You don't know anything yet. I told you that it's unfiltered. I'll be very, very frank with us. You don't know anything yet. Whatever you have been taught in coccidiosis, by the time you get to the field, you'll be shocked, that this is not the textbook of coccidiosis. Things are changing every day. And these guys are also, I was watching please, can you mute your mic as you join, please? Things are changing every day, and you cannot just bump into it like you know it all. So also saying that let me get back to you, or I cannot undo this year, referral at the point. Saying let me get back to you might not be sufficient, especially if it is an emergency case. So Dr. Tessie will be talking about mentorship. Have the courage to refer. Have people you refer to. You are in a locality. Have vets that you know that this vet can handle this particular issue. Probably a clinic or a hospital. So also referring is not a second opinion. You have made a decision. You have acknowledged the fact that you are not capable to undo this. And for cases you are capable to undo, you might not even have enough resources, and you just have to work your way around it. You just have to work your way around it. And of course, as a vet, you are going to have a lot of decisions to make, especially on emergency. So I remember, my first year, I just got back from NYSC, and I served in Abia State. Then halfway, I came back to Ibadan. It was during my NYSC. I served with the Oyo State government at the abattoir. And I can remember I only went there as an inspector. Just like some of you will go, during your NYSC and you'll be posted to the abattoir. I went there as an inspector, just with my overall, with my boots, and with my knife, and with my stethoscope, and that was all. I went there because what we do mostly at, ER in Ibadan is it's postmortem. It's postmortem inspection, not, antemortem inspection. So, which is not supposed to be anyway, and fortunately, don't let me say unfortunately, I got there early that morning, and these guys, the cattle owners, just ran to the clinic where I was just changing, and they said, oh, we just a cow just is in labor, has been in labor since yesterday night. They don't want to slaughter since we've been advising against slaughter, and they need to, they want to deliver the cow of the calf. And they were like, doctor, doctor. It was, in fact, I felt embarrassed because I'm like, so you guys see me as a doctor. I don't even see myself as one yet. There was nothing. I did not have anything. None of my colleague, I was even around. I was the only person. It was around to 7. No oxygen tank, no lights, nothing, nothing. And they were already bringing the cattle to the clinic in the trolley, you know. And right there, we had to just use, I had to enter, call Dr. Kobi, was our chief veterinary inspector. Call him, do you have anything? He said, the only thing I have there is an LA. Can you use it? Just let them go, let the animal die. Let them just slaughter the cow and remove the calf. But these people insisted that, doctor, doctor, just do this for us. And he said, okay, go ahead if you want to do it or not. And being my first time, I just had to summon courage, because now, whether the calf survives or not, they are not paying. But because we are the one that have been lecturing them that, please, when you have a pregnant cow, don't slaughter. Allow the cow to, calve before slaughtering. So now that we are the one preaching that to them, why are we supposed to then deny them of that? Probably they didn't know, because they brought the cattle from the north and they discovered that it was pregnant. To cut the long story short, you had to do it just with LA. I used just line infiltration, just LA, just the lidocaine, and that was all. I already messaged my colleagues on the group, that they should, and they came, and we were using inside the clinic, we were using torch, the mobile phone flashlights. We worked together. We used the line infiltration for LA, and that was it. We had to use we're supposed to, what the suture material we're supposed to use, but we had to improvise with what he had then, And what did I learn from that case? Confidence. Second thing is creativity. And another thing is that as a doctor, you need to know that your calmness can actually, not just the life of the animal, can save the lives of even your clients. When you panic, when you are unsure, when you start to agitate, you are going to cause a lot of things, especially if you are working with small animals. And even you see the case and your countenance is already something else. Even your clients. I remember when I was in VTH, we had a client, and immediately we finished the examination. I remember Professor Mobo his countenance just changed. It was a lepto case, and everywhere was yellow. And when everywhere is yellow, you already know that the liver is gone. And immediately it changed the countenance. This woman busted into tears. Oh my God. What did we not say to calm her down? Please mute your mic as you join. What did we not say to calm her down? So your countenance means a lot. You need to be calm at every situation. Now, real world challenges that you are going to come across. Number one is uncooperative clients. Please mute your mic, please. Thank you very, very much. Non-cooperative clients, you are going to meet them a lot. For those who are going to be working in the small animal space, probably under a vet, or you are going to be posted to a government-owned clinic where you might even be the only vet, or you are going to be working with an ambulatory vet. Please have it at the back of your mind that not everybody understands that veterinary medicine is the core of animal health. Not everybody is going to agree with you. In fact, you might experience breeders who have never been to anything that has to do with veterinary or animal health telling you what you are going to do. Have it at the back of your mind that you are going to have non-cooperative clients. Number two, have it at the back of your mind that you are going to have animals or patients presented very, very, very late. And you wonder, what were you actually looking at? But for now, just have it at the back of your mind that all those things that that we have been taught in vet school, the animal is presented with lethargy, with anorexia, with this and that. You are going to see it in the real world and more. In fact, somebody have brought a dead dog, brought a dead patient from his house and brought it to me. And I was wondering, do you know this dog was dead? He said, yes, I don't know, but it was not breathing well. I just wanted to confirm. So you'll be shocked at what you are going to experience. Number three is that you are going to have unrealistic expectations. unrealistic expectations. There was a case I just handled of recent. It was a leptospirosis case. The liver was gone and everything. This guy went on Google and started, researching and everything, and he started sending me the links and everything. I said, I would advise, but the decision is left to you, that you should put this animal down. Everywhere is yellow. Everywhere is yellow. The PCV was 13 and it was declining. The PCV started from 25 when we admitted. With all the treatment, the PCV went down to 13. And if I was going to do another one, probably it would be lower. So I do not really appreciate patients I know that might not survive, eventually dying. I like to, ease them of the suffering. Animal welfare, when you know that the prognosis is grave, that's another thing you are supposed to learn. You don't wait until everything is down to zero because at that point, the pain for the client is usually different from when they made the decision to allow the pet go to rest or to put the patient down. Is usually different. You understand? So you're going to have an unrealistic expectation. And the guy messaged me and said, let's do a liver transplant. I said, it is not impossible that we do a liver transplant for your dog. But I'm sorry, we have not done it here before. I said, what do you mean? I said, okay, can you take this patient to the university teaching hospital? He said, okay. He came the second day, took it to the VTH, and he met Prof. He met everybody, and they told him that we even started from the cost. The cost of even doing a liver transplant is something else entirely. Are you ready to fund it? And if we are going to do a liver transplant, even the dog we are going to be replacing the liver with might not even survive. So why don't you what I'm trying to say is that you're going to have a lot of unrealistic expectations. And trust me, you already know this from vet school. In fact, some of us practice quackery, which is not supposed to be so. If you are not licensed by the Veterinary Council of Nigeria, you are not permitted to attend or treat any animal. If you are not licensed, if you are not certified, if you do not have a VCN number and your VCN deal is not up to date, let me talk as a responsible veterinarian now, you are a quack. So please take all these things very seriously, because you are going to have a lot of quack out there, and some of them practically trained or they've worked with a veterinarian, and you'll be so shocked at some of the things they are saying. Some might be right. And let me tell you something, please, as you go out there, even if they are correct, humanly possible, do not be rude. At your best possible, respect everybody, but do not ever conform to the authority of a quack in your profession. If you are a vet and a vet student is correcting you and you are a licensed vet, you respect the information, you respect the authority of the information coming from that vet student than from somebody who is not authorized to do such a thing. Like I said, it may possible be humble. I learn a lot, especially from breeders. I learn a lot from them. But from all the information I gather from them, I reenact my authority in the profession. And that they will not teach you in vet school. Because immediately they notice that you have succumbed your authority as a vet and you have put yourself under their knowledge, that is the end of it. That is the end of it. And trust me, the battle is real out there. I mean, I can't overemphasize that. Lessons they don't teach you in vet school. Number one is communication. I'm currently running my master's in surgery. For one whole semester, one of the things we were taught is client communication. That is how important it is. Communication is as critical as diagnosis. Please don't be in your head when you're attending any case. Don't be in your head. Don't think that, oh, I know what I'm doing. You are not communicating to your, as little as you want to run a test, you want to give fluid, you want to change the fluid you are giving. That's why some of us have to struggle a bit when we go to senior clients, when all these things are very important. Communication is very, very important. And please document everything, especially those of us that are going for NYSC and you'll be practicing. Please document, even if you are going to use your phone. Dr. Sheja could be talking to us about being a new gen vet. I know that we might not want to be carrying file up and down. You might not want to carry higher education. You might not want to put jotter in your lab coat and everything. On your phone, open a note, open a document, and document everything. Time, date, all your vitals, everything. Please, it is very, very important. Every missed follow-up could become a crisis. And that's why you need to document. I use WhatsApp for my clients. And you can now WhatsApp have labels. You can label. I have follow-up label. I have pending payment. I have check up in 2 weeks. Everything I need for follow-up, I have them on my label. So probably I need to follow up in the next 3 days. I'll just put you under that label. So every day I come to my WhatsApp, I'll just check all the labels. Oh, I need to check up on this person, because just one missing one follow-up can become a crisis. And another thing they will not teach you is that compassion fatigue is very, very, very real. Guard your mental health. Guard your mental health. You are going to experience a lot of things on the field, and you'll be wondering that why didn't they tell us in vet school? That's why we are telling you now under Vet Konekt that you are going to experience compassion fatigue. Work fatigue is on its own, but you are also going to, let me give you an example. They present a case to you, or they present a patient to you, and the owner starts explaining, oh, I don't have this and that, I've spent a lot, I've this and that, and you just want to save the patient. If immediately you agree to it and you start, you can't stop again. No. Even if you exhaust all your resources and the patient still die, trust me, some are still going to blame you for it, and you'll be wondering that, I don't understand, is having empathy on a patient a bad thing? So you need to be guided. I'm sure Dr. Tessie is going to guide us on that, on how to manage situation like that. Another thing, I'm sure that we did veterinary economics in public health. You need to price your services right. I don't have time to go into that, but it is very, very important. Probably we are going to discuss that for another webinar. Know how to price. If you don't know and you want to start pricing now, in fact, one of you that just graduated messaged me the same week. I think yesterday was induction. The second day, the person messaged me on WhatsApp that a client just called him that he wants to deworm eight puppies. He wants to deworm 8 puppies. How much should he charge? I was really impressed, because it is very, very rare, especially in this our new gen vet. It's very, very rare to see vets coming out now. You just see a lot of people doing barbaric things, and you wonder. And by the time you go to their DM, especially with younger vets, I'm talking about vets between 1, 5, and 6 years. You see a younger vet doing something on Instagram, and you want to probably just correct, or and the next thing, you don't see them again on Instagram. You cannot access them again. So I was really impressed that such a person is coming, and I said, my dear, refer that person to a vet closest to you or closest to the person. And she didn't understand. I said, after you do that, attend to that patient, to that client first, then come back, I will explain to you. Because you want me to give you a price standard, the same period you want to give your clients a price. It cannot work. It cannot work. There are standards to pricing. Like I said, it's going to be a discourse for another day. Time versus value. Trust me, you can never have the right value for your time. And that might cloud your judgments. In treating a patient, in attending to cases, you'll be wondering that, am I supposed to just use all of this time? Please, you are a health worker. You are an essential health worker, and you are a professional. Just have it at the back of your mind that nobody can pay you for your time. No patient. If the only reward that you will have is that your patient survive. That's the only reward. Even your clients cannot thank you enough for the time that you have, for the value and the time that you spent. How to explain costs to clients respectively. This, like I said, is a topic for another day. They will not teach you in vet school that you need to explain. For me, I will just give, what I do. Probably it can help some people. I learned, in veterinary business, or in, let me just use business, major leader, people will not pay you for what you don't understand. Or let me rephrase, people will not pay you adequately for what they don't understand. We are in the health business space. I said health business because you are not there just to make profits, but you are incurring costs. So you have to make profits. So you need to understand that your knowledge of communication, especially when it comes to money, is as important as the knowledge of medicine that you have. You need to know how to, for me, I make it very, very, very simple. I took a cue from UIVTH. In UIVTH, what they do is they write all the drugs you need. They ask you to go and get them, and they charge you per day when you bring your pets. If you are leaving the pet, they charge you per day. So the cost of drug is different. And there's a pharmacy where you buy them at the UIVTH. Then they charge you for the consultation and the service of the vet. So when I started my own ambulatory service, I did something similar to that. Of course, because they're not coming to the clinic, telling them to go and buy, they will just ask you that, doctor, don't worry, buy it. But I don't joke with it. I do an invoice of the drugs. And you are playing on I don't want to use the word you're playing on their intelligence, but you have to be smart about it. You list the drugs. I don't put prices to the drugs when I give them an invoice. Oh, your dog is going, or your cat is going to need this particular fluid. I put it. And when they can see it, they can see the name of the drugs. They can see the name of the fluid. Please, we are in the new gen vet. Remove the mentality of that archaic knowledge that your clients don't need to know the drug you are giving your pet. Please, we have moved beyond. That is not happening again. They know it. They know the ivermectin. They know the Bico. They know the amoxicillin. They know everything. So when you come and you tell this man that please, can you mute your mic? And you are hiding all those things from them. They see you as this guy just wants to take our money, or this doctor just wants to take our money. So I list them and I charge them. I'm a veterinary doctor. This is my charge per day. For me coming to you every day, I'm going to collect 15,000 naira each day I visit your pet. It will cover my transportation and my service fee. Simple as ABC. Now, I want to go and get the drug. They go and get the drug and they come. By the time they put it all together, the cost is already going to what you would have charged them originally. But now, because they can break it down, because you have explained to them in plain terms, and they see that, because calling bogus amount for clients is what usually cause that resistance to pay. But when you know how to explain cost, I mean, that is just my own way. But you can also devise your way, and that's why I told that new vet, that you can, if you don't understand it, then you don't need to do it yet. Until you understand it, then you can start practicing it. And trust me, that method I just told you now is not what I use for every vet. I mean, every client, but I had to devise, other method. Know your worth and don't undercharge. That is explanatory enough. Case files and follow-up. I told you earlier, please maintain records, document everything. I told you about what I do on WhatsApp, and use Google Sheets. I also use my calendar a lot. My Google Calendar, my WhatsApp, my notes, and my Google Sheets. Those are my four most, what will I call it now? There's no way I don't use them every day. Build trust with consistency. Be consistent. Don't attend to a case. Follow up cases. Build relationship with your client. If you see that you don't want to be too close to the client, it is fine. But build relationship via the pet to the client. Your follow-up call may save an animal. I mentioned earlier that nobody can pay you for your time, for your value. And you need to know that mental health and burnout is real. When you have cases that might take a lot of emotions out of you, and you are not emotionally capable to handle it, you can refer. If for instance, you have a parvo case and you are an ambulatory vet like myself, and in case you don't have, I have a personal space, but in case you don't have a personal space, you refer to the vet around you. Probably the place is very far from you. Don't be too greedy and say, let me handle it. If you are tired one day and you don't visit that pet and the pet dies, the client is going to hold you responsible. So any case that would cause you mental burnout, avoid them. You cannot make all your money from one case. How to deal with death, especially preventable ones. Oh my God, I experienced this at the early stage of my practice, and trust me, some of you are going to experience it. Preventable cases, like hemodilution, because the patient is dehydrated. You just want to give fluid. You just guess in your head, this patient is dehydrated. Let me just give fluid. You did not calculate. I hope you know that fluid have a dosage. You did not calculate the fluid dosage. You are just giving fluid, and before you know, right there on the table, boom, everything packed up. Well, let me move on because of time. Importance of community mentors and rest. Dr. Tessie is going to tell us about mentors. Community. A community like Vet Konekt, perfect place for you. We have professional chats every Tuesday. Mention your case. Oh, this is what I'm facing. Don't be when I started experiencing parvo and lepto comorbidity of recent, I posted it on about 3 professional chats, and I get a lot of people. Some people message on the group, some people reach out to me personally. Oh, how are you handling this? And we shared, and I get from them, they get from me. So you need a community. Don't just act on your own. Don't assume that you know it all. Dr. Tessie will be talking to us about mentors. And please always rest. Practical advice for new vets: never stop learning. Join continuing education programs. Learn. I learn every day. I read about every case I read. I mean, I can write a textbook on some disease now, because why? Each time I diagnose them, I go and read again. Heliciosis, leptospirosis, parvo, hernia, whatever case that you see frequently, keep reading, because when the opportunity comes and you are sharing, people will see you as a textbook. Even when you're explaining to clients, and you cannot explain well what you do not understand well. When you're explaining to clients, you'll be able to break it down that even the client will think is a doctor at that particular point. Always equip yourself, and always find a support system. That's Dr. Tessie is going to take us on that. Document, reflect, improve. Treat every case with honor and humility. Don't classify your clients. In your head, you can classify your clients. This one doesn't have money. He's feeding his dog biscuit. He's feeding his dog rice. Don't show it. Don't show it. Always treat everybody with respect and in humility. And in closing, I want you to know that you are the future of veterinary medicine. I'm talking to myself too. I'm also less than 5 years in the practice, and it's a privilege to be talking to you guys. I mean, I don't know. I still categorize all of us as a generation of young vets. And trust me, our impact is bigger than you think. We are changing the space of veterinary medicine, and we are not castigating what our older vets are doing. We are building on what they did, especially in the digital space. We are letting people see that veterinary medicine is not just a cockroach doctor. We can do a lot, and that impact is visible. The white coat is earned daily through service and growth. Do not look for money first. Serve and grow, and you would eventually see that you are going to have a very beautiful growing stage of practice. Thank you very much. Because of time, I would not want us to go into question and answer now. I will just call in Dr. Shedrack for the next slide. Okay, Dr. Shedrack doesn't have a slide.
Yes, I am not using a presentation. Yes.
Oh, okay, sir. All right, sir. So let me just introduce my boss. I love to call him my boss. I'm sure one day he's going to change it for me. I just love it because he's a boss indeed. I mean,
Doc, I'm begging you, skip the bio. We have lost time already, so I'm begging you.
All right, sir.
Yeah.
All right, sir. We can kickstart, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, I just wanted to turn on my video before I turn it back off. My bandwidth is a bit fast, so I can manage a bit before I go back off camera. But thank you so much for what you have done. I don't know how many of us have engaged our emojis to say a big thank you to Dr. Abiodun for such a very intense discussion on the reality of field practice. Can we do more? Can we give Dr. Abiodun more emojis? Can we say something in the chat section? What he has given us is priceless. I want to also appreciate Dr. Tessie for agreeing to also join in. I'm not going to say so much. I feel like tonight is about the two of them, and I wonder why Dr. Abiodun had to drag me into here, but what he has asked me to say, I would simply term it getting started. And there's usually a tendency as professionals to segment errors. And I say that to mean that we have our older colleagues who, have a lot of years of practice. Some of them even taught us while we were in school. Then we have those of us who are now here in practice. And yes, during our years of training, mostly our mindset was structured to tilt more in the lens of saying, Konekt is, I say Konekt. Veterinary medicine is a high-paying profession. Okay, so we had situations where we were told that, oh, get a job with the government, you're going to be paid very high, and several other things that we're told. But when we graduated, the reality has been different. And it has been different simply because when all of those things were being said, it's you realize soon enough that it goes beyond that. And that is what I'm hoping to talk to us. Not to lay blames like Dr. Abiodun has already highlighted in terms of saying, well, maybe we're not taught right. The best training ever we got, right? And that's why for me, I would continue to say that veterinary medicine is one of the most versatile professions on planet Earth. So by virtue of going through the veterinary profession to becoming a veterinary doctor, puts you already on a path of growth. How you choose to translate that is a different matter entirely, and because I hear some professionals say, oh, well, you graduated and it's like you felt you wasted your time. No, you didn't waste your time. You were taught what versatility means. You were taught to be able to handle so much. And that is why it's easy for you to be able to play in different sectors with ease, because you have a level of experience that other spaces do not naturally have. Now, in terms of getting started, we must ask ourselves, what is the reality of the veterinary profession today? And the reality is that the number of veterinary doctors in Nigeria today is grossly inadequate. Grossly. The gold standard, as we have it from the World Organization for Animal Health and the World Veterinary Association, is projected at one veterinary doctor to 2,500 animal owners. We have less than 15,000 veterinary doctors in Nigeria today, dead and alive. If you run that across the population, or let's even put the population aside and run that across the estimated number of animal owners in Nigeria, which is sitting somewhere around maybe 100 million, you still will have a very, very high margin that is somewhere around 40 to 50,000 animal owners per veterinary professional. But the irony is, how come are veterinary professionals still not able to maximize their potentials? The challenges are there. They are there in their numbers. We are heavily underfunded. The access to capital is a big challenge. The animal health space, or in agriculture, if you look at data from the last 20 years, every dollar that was invested in agriculture in Africa, only 35 cents was allocated to livestock or to the animal sector. 65 was to crops. So we have a sector that is heavily underfunded. And if you even come down to states, we have states where we have less than 10 veterinary doctors in practice, or sorry, in service. How do you effectively patrol or account for the safety of animal health if you have this kind of numbers? Then there's the challenge of quackery. a lot of people are not informed. So because of this singular challenge, you know, it leads to people doing things their own way. And most times we also professionals, we assume that, well, they don't care. But one thing I've realized also engaging with livestock farmers and pet owners is eventually when they understand what is at stake, everyone wants to ensure that they're not consciously undermining the system. If you look at the challenge of limited access to animal care, limited number of professionals, because we don't have enough, naturally the non-professionals will undermine us. Naturally, livestock farmers would seek self-help, but this problem is not stopping there. What does self-help mean? They are buying medication on their own. They are using it wrongly, and also adding to the burden of antimicrobial abuse in you know, in the population. And what does the numbers say as far as that challenge is concerned? Recent data already shows us that. Can you mute? Recent data already shows us that over 700,000 Africans are dying from antimicrobial resistance on a yearly basis, and Nigeria is a hotspot. So it's so painful because, like I said, sometimes as a professional, you might feel helpless. You want to do so much, but you are lacking in resources. And this is where I will now ask everyone, where does your heart lie? Meaning that the problems are there. We have highlighted all of them. Lack of access to animal care, input supply, so many things are missing, right? So but where does your heart lie? Which one would you say your heart is beating more for that you want to be able to solve? When you now figure that out, we now ask ourselves, what is going to be the path forward? Is it possible to mass produce veterinary doctors all in one night to make up the numbers so that it's going to be the average of one veterinary doctor to 2,500 animal owners? It's not practical. Is it practical that they can build hospitals across Nigeria under one night and then fill them all over the place? It's not practical. And even if they build them, practically, can we man all of them? It's not true. It's not possible. So what offers us an immediate solution for us to be able to go through? Technology. And technology does not mean you must build an app or own a platform like Konect or Farm Alert or AfriMash, you know, or any of these other platforms currently available. It's about understanding the fundamentals of technology as an amplifier. Dr. Abiodun said something about you, instead of carrying your jotter in your pocket, you have a digital storage system which you are leveraging to be able to manage your processes. Instead of having a large catalog of clients' needs, you have all of that captured you know, on a digital platform. He talked about you know, you using your Google Calendar to manage appointments and manage your schedule. So it's about clearly defining that, okay, this is the role I want to play. Because whether we like it or not, and I wish it wasn't so, but if you are trained as a veterinary doctor and after 6 years you're inducted and then you decide that you're not going to practice again, it's a loss to the profession. Because there's one less person who is no longer interested to fulfill the mandate of what? Protecting or preserving animal lives. So we must consciously put ourselves in a place that makes the profession more attractive. Telemedicine is gaining a lot of ground. And this is where I say currently that as far as the animal health ecosystem is concerned, we must ask ourselves, what are the human medics doing in terms of leverage of technology that we can learn from them? It's not about always saying we must reinvent the wheel. We can ask ourselves, what can we learn from them and apply in our own space? Why are we not having ourselves as professionals who are in Nigeria providing telemedicine support in other parts of the world where we are earning forex or foreign exchange? These are the possibilities we must ask ourselves as young people. So when you figure out where your heart lies, you must pay attention to the trends. And the trend I've highlighted here is that technology is going to be the amplifier. So while we wait for government to do their best to ramp up the numbers, we wait for our regulatory council to do more in increasing the volume of professionals that are produced every year. We wait for NVMA under the leadership of our president, Dr. Moses Arokoye, to do more in advocating and also opening up more vets to opportunities. We must also take responsibility in saying, what can I do where I am? It can be simply you informing and educating people to do better, to be more responsible pet parents, to be more responsible livestock farmers. I remember I had a conversation with a poultry farmer, and I told them, you know, when I finished explaining the impact of using an antibiotic recklessly, all I could see was the man felt so guilty of what he felt he had been doing to maximize profit. But it was purely out of ignorance. So sometimes we might undermine our ability to drop a post on our timeline, and sometimes it's just one farmer that will see it and realize that, it doesn't make sense to just buy all the antibiotics in the world on day one just because I want to go and preserve my birds. That it makes sense to come to a vet when my dog or my cat or my pet is sick to get the right diagnosis so that I don't waste money indiscriminately. These things matter. Then we must avoid the crowd as professionals. You are done with school, you are now in practice, some of you are currently serving, some of you are done with service. Clearly define what path you're taking. There's no one that says that your destiny is tied to lecturing job or is tied to whatever you think that if you don't go, your life will not count for something. The world is changing and evolving at such a tremendous pace. So when you figure out the path for yourself, are there trends that support it? Meaning that if you are going to go on such a path, or if we are going to think about the veterinary profession in 5 years, where do you think we're headed? Look at what generative AI is doing to the ecosystem today. These are questions you must ask and also answer. And then in closing, Dr. Abiodun already mentioned it. I know the temptation is there to say, I need money. Yes, you need money. But let me tell you the original order of life. The original order of life is that you must build capacity before reward will follow. So starting off as a smart, maybe you're even the brightest in your class, you have graduated, and now you are about to serve, or you have served and now you are right into the world. Find someone who will be able to guide you on that journey. Because intelligence has proven over and over that it's not the only recipe for success. Mentorship is important. So if you are part of a community, and Dr. Abiodun already mentioned it, like the Vet Konekt vets community, you get to share concerns, you get to learn from others, you get to pick up your phone and call someone and ask questions and get answers. It's anyone that refuses to thrive within a community that will die out. But if you are in a community, the opportunities are used as they come, you have access to them. Because it's unfortunate when we think that competition is the way. No, it's not. For a profession like ours, how many are we? So we must find every opportunity to amplify our impact, and that will be success. We can only do that through the emblem of collaboration. So never ever turn off or throw away an opportunity for you to collaborate with someone. So get a mentor. And when you're getting a mentor, don't just go there. Mentorship is a very key element for you as a professional to grow. You don't go to your mentor saying that these are your financial needs and the person should help you. No. You go and you set your dreams at the person's feet and require guidance. You request guidance. You ask critical questions because the gift of access is very powerful. You want to be in a space where when something comes, there's someone higher up the chain that will think of you in a fun way. So to summarize, where does your heart lie as a professional? What area do you want to drive impact in? Are you paying attention to the trends? How is the world changing? What is happening, or what do you think is going to happen in the next 5 years? There's ChatGPT for you to ask. There's Gemini, there's Cloud, there's Grook. What are the trends that we should be able to pay attention to so that we cannot be, who would be those people who are very proactive in defining the future? Like I said, what is the future? The future is talking about technology. We cannot ignore it. So in thriving in that kind of ecosystem, embrace collaboration and grow in a community. That is how we succeed. So that is the message I have for us as far as getting started is concerned as young professionals who are emerging out of the practice community. Thank you very much. So I'll pass it now back to Dr. Abiodun to usher in our next speaker. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Please, can we appreciate Dr. Shedrack on the chat box? That was that was very, very brief but intense. Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate you. You can see why I call him my boss. I'm sure time did not permit Dr. Shedrack to share more, but I'm sure that I'm sure that with time, especially if you're on the Vet Konekt platform, you'll be able to learn a lot from him. So now I'm going to be ushering in someone that is very, very dear to me. She's dear to me personally. Vivian, please, is she a host now? Please make her a host and unmute her mic. Personally, I said personally because it's not just in the veterinary profession. Dr. Tessie and I share the same birthday. She's July 14th, I'm July 14th. And since when I discovered that, I've said that, thank God. So anytime I'm into it like this, I already know where to run to. Very soon, I know one of these years we are going to celebrate together. She will throw a party, but we'll be the celebrants, but she'll be the one to spend the money. So without wasting much time, Dr. Tessie, I love to call her Dr. Tessie, or her name is Dr. Theresa Kadiri Iwewe. She's a renowned veterinary practitioner and an entrepreneur with over 21 years of clinical experience in small animal practice. She's the founder and CEO of Dr. Tessie's Veterinary Limited and Dr. Tessie's Veterinary Hospital. She has made significant contributions to the veterinary profession. Our hospital, staffed by a team of 6 veterinarians, specializes in small animal medicine and has been instrumental in training numerous veterinary students and interns. I can attest to that. Dr. Theresa is also a dedicated mentor, guiding over 20 veterinarians in their career growth and veterinary entrepreneurship. Her commitment to innovation and excellence has earned her numerous awards, including recognition for trailblazing and leadership in the veterinary profession. Some of our notable achievements include developing indigenous pet products, such as ready-to-eat pet food, and establishing Dr. Tessie's Veterinary Limited as a pioneering company in the industry. Through our work, Dr. Tessie has demonstrated a passion for small animal welfare and care. Our awards and recognition are a testament to our dedication and expertise in the field. As a respected figure in the veterinary community, Dr. Theresa continues to inspire and mentor the next generation of veterinarians that, like every one of us on this call right now. So join me as I welcome my mama. Dr. Shedrack is my boss. She's my mama. My mama, Dr. Theresa Kadiri Iwewe. You have the floor, ma. Please appreciate her. Use the emoji on the chat box.
Thank you so much, Dr. Abiodun. Thank you, Dr. Shedrack. Thank you guys for having me. I'm so glad. Dr. Abiodun, please project my slides from your end.
Okay, ma. Yes, I'm on. Can we see the slide, please?
No,
Can
not
anybody
yet.
see the slide, please?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
No, no.
Okay. What about now? What about now, please?
Yes, yes, it's on.
Is it audible now? Is it visible now?
Yes, it's visible. But parts of it are not showing.
Ma, is the
Focus
slide
on one
visible
slide
now?
at a time.
Yeah, we can see it now.
All right.
Can we focus on a slide at a time?
Yes, ma. What about now, ma?
It's not showing yet. It's not. Just a little part of it is showing. Great. Yeah, it's on now.
Okay, ma, I'm with you, ma.
Great. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And congratulations to our newly inducted graduates. We're happy to have you. And we pray that God Almighty grants you the wisdom to make this journey of life easier, the aspect of the veterinary career. So the theme as of today, which is from graduation to being a seasoned practitioner. The topic we are taking, next slide, please. Is Vet Life Unfiltered. So what I'm going to be sharing with us is just like a summary of experiences gathered in the last 20 some years. Yeah. The good of being a veterinarian, the grief, that is the challenges, and then the guidance. What do we do about the challenges to ensure we're able to excel as a veterinarian in whatever area of specialty we choose? Yes. When we say, okay, we all know what a veterinarian is. We know what is good about being a veterinarian. Like Dr. Shedrack and Dr. Abiodun had earlier mentioned, there are numerous advantages to being a veterinarian. We have a lot of diverse aspects to specialize in. We can choose to pursue different aspects of veterinary medicine, and the sheer fulfillment you get from treating a patient, and then a patient that was so overwhelmed now recovers fully. It could be quite rewarding and fulfilling. And then the opportunities, like I said, for specialization, and then the take-home pays, the opportunities to even own your own practice, from equine practice, ruminant practice, large animal practice, avian practice, to small animal practice, too numerous to mention. So those are the opportunities that are found for us. There are a lot. So I'll be emphasizing more on how we're going to navigate the waters. I'm presuming that us as graduating veterinarians have a clarity of mind as to what aspect of the profession am I really interested in. I do not expect us maybe going into NYSC or post NYSC now not to have known an area, identify an area where your core love is, where you find your peace, where you find your passion. So if you're able to have identified that, then we can proceed to the next slide. Thank you. Next slide, please. So yes. No, please back. Yeah, so when we're talking about the grit, what are the challenges you are about to encounter as a veterinarian? One, whatever the area of specialty, it's physically demanding. And that's why you see, okay, there's no female veterinarian, there's no male veterinarians, we are all veterinarians. You, the lady vets and the male vets, we are all veterinarians. You have to be rugged. You have to be ready to put in long hours. On only hours, emergencies can come. You've closed for the day and you're called right in. We have sworn to take care and to save lives. We have to step back in. It's not every day, it's not all the time, but these things do happen. And then because we have a variety of patients, whatever area you've chosen is still demanding, ranging from large animals to small animals, like I've said. The ability to restrain animals and all of that is a lot of strain on us as physicians. And then they tend to impact on the longevity of our careers. It's hard for you to see private practitioners that will be actively still involved in practice after the age of about 60 years. So it's important that we are able to quickly settle into our routines and know exactly what we're doing so that we'll get to the pinnacle of our career before basically 60 years. That's what I put it at. Yes, next slide, please. So we've heard earlier on this evening about work-life balance. You could easily get consumed by the day-to-day turning up to work. You understand? Like I mentioned earlier, there could be weekends, there could be, even on holidays, you could be calling that, oh, there's an emergency, you have to turn up. It could negatively impact on your own well-being, leading easily to stress, burnout, and then even strain on your own personal relationships. If you are a babe and the guy is calling and you're telling him, oh, I'm on call, you're always on call, babe, what's happening? Or you're a guy and your wife is hardly seeing you, or your babe, you know, that kind of thing. So you have to put conscious effort to make sure that, okay, there are times when, as a young veterinarian, how do I get some other persons to consult for me in maybe, I cannot employ another vet yet, my practice is young. Can I get a colleague to stand in for me so that I can take a day to rest, to have fun, to go to the theater, to see a movie, to take my babe out or to be taken out? We have to make conscious effort to rest, to control stress, to avoid burnouts. You understand? So that's what we're saying there. So it's not necessarily that, okay, from the onset, you have numerous doctors. No, you are able to create conscious effort and then you get your deserved rest. Yes, next slide. Financial challenges that can easily befall us as veterinarians, young veterinarians that are starting up. When you compare the kind of workload we have at school, the intensity of our training to become veterinarians, compared to other professions.
Bring this slide, take away with teach.
You understand? You begin to wonder, oh, we are kind of underpaid. You understand? The kind of years we spend in school. Within 4 years, some other guys have already graduated. For the engineers, 5 years. Pharmacists, 5 years. They're already making money. We are still in school an extra year. And then we are coming out and we are being offered what really? You begin to wonder. It could be challenging to understanding it. But when you have the clear understanding that, okay, it's for a while, it's like a welcome package. It's like a, okay, welcome on board package. What's happening here? You know, we want to acquire skills required for the job that will position us favorably to be able to excel in immediate future. And then even if it's you're setting up, you have the funds to set up immediately, a lot is required to set up a standard practice. That's what we are describing here. It's a lot of money. So it's usually is challenging, but there is a way which I'm going to teach us today. We can still set up standard practices without being overwhelmed financially. So I will discuss it further down. Next slide, please. Emotional strain. I've kind of mentioned it amongst other things we're talking about. And Dr. Abiodun mentioned it. It's still part of stress on us. You get sometimes attached to your patients emotionally. And then you're treating a patient, the patient gives up on you. It could be very depressing. And you have to share the bad news with the client. It could be emotionally tasking. Or a client opts for euthanasia. It could be emotionally draining. So we have to still be empathetic and compassionate, and then bringing out such, toying with such deep emotions makes us vulnerable to emotional fatigue. So there are ways we have adopted that has helped us to cope with such emotional stressors, that you're able to ameliorate them, and then you're able to thrive better. So I'll be discussing that in the next aspect. Next slide, please. Client relationships and expectations. If you're a private practitioner, definitely, clients coming to you have great expectations. Basic, I'm going to him or her to get my pet well. They are not coming for you to turn their patients or their pets to mortality. They are not expecting that. So they have this high expectation that he or she is a veterinarian, he's got the experience. They are not leaving room for you being a young vet. They are saying you are a vet, you are a vet. That says it. So how do we build that confidence to be able to face the client and build beautiful relationships with them, in which they're able to impose so much confidence in us, and then they believe in what we are doing? Sometimes they, like I've said, they are not looking, they're not considering the years of experience you've got or your exposure on the field. It could be unrealistic. They want you to act. They want you to deliver. They expect you to deliver the way an older, more experienced vet would be. And some of them are not even compliant. You send some patients home as outpatients, they will not comply with what you've told them to do, yet they would expect you to do magic. Patients that ought to be on admission, they would, because maybe of financial incapacities on their own part, they want to push responsibilities back on you, citing, oh, they are more convenient if they treat at home, follow up, and all of this. So there are a lot of challenges that comes from client relationships, and there are ways of handling this, which we are going to see further in the guidance aspect. So we also have other challenges like ethical dilemmas facing us as veterinarians. This has got to do, like I've said earlier, with the client's welfare, the client wishes, like them asking you to do something completely different from what you are recommending. the financial consideration, you're giving them bills, they're not comfortable with it. And then you don't want to bridge your ethical performance, and yet they don't want to pay for the service. You don't want to cut corners, yet they don't want to pay. How do we handle such? Those are a part of the challenges we have. So you have beliefs, you have ethics, you within the professionally sound conduct. But when you have challenging cases in which the clients are not willing to do the needful to aid you dispensing your duties as a top-notch veterinarian, what do you do? How do you handle such? Is what we are identifying here as a dilemma. Next slide, please. Staffing shortages. When we talk about staffing shortages, we are talking about, okay, I'm a qualified veterinarian, I've started a practice. It sounds like small animal practice will need you to attend to patients in the morning, afternoon, and then night duty, night call duty. How do I do it alone? I can't. So getting qualified, experienced veterinarians to join the team to break the work stress and the workload is usually difficult. And then it overwhelms you guys on ground. So we identify getting staff to join your team as part of the difficulties. And it's not just veterinarians that are your staff members. We have the vet nurses. We have the veterinary handlers. We have other administrative staffs. There is this major problem we're having as Nigerians with certain attitude to work. You understand? So how do we navigate that? We'll discuss that, having identified it as one of our challenges. Legal issues is another big one. Disgruntled clients. Oh, you did not handle this well. Oh, it's your negligence that killed my patient. We have people do that to us. So it's important and imperative that each and every one of us as a veterinarian have the understanding that you are a legal entity. And you can please mute your mics. So as an individual, you are a legal entity, you can sue and you can be sued. So when we have that understanding, we'll also understand that as a practice, our business is an entity, and that entity can sue and the practice can be sued. So hence the need for us to adhere strictly to ethical standards. Otherwise, we risk having legal tussles here and there. Us as a practice, we've experienced one or two, and we've dealt with them decisively. And there are things you put in place that helps you to handle such. Next slide, please. So we are at the guidance stage now. That okay, we have been able to identify challenges that abound, that face us, that challenge us as veterinarians. So under this guidance, please, the floor is noisy. Thank you. So can you hear me, please?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We can hear you.
Good. So we are proceeded now to guidance. Now I'm going to dish out some points on what I feel if we adopt them, they are going to help us with the challenges earlier identified, and that would ease up us sliding into successful practice. One key point is having a very sound knowledge of scientific information that has to do with basic anatomy, physiology, disease diagnosis, and treatment management. As undergraduates, we were really backed with a lot of information, a lot under duress. Examination fevers here and there, la cram, la poor things, and all of that. Now is the time, after identifying the areas of your interest, sit down and read them. The way you would read a novel, that when you get to the mid part or the ending chapter, you remember what the story at the beginning is talking about. This is when you read like that, casual, committed, interested reading in areas, in topics, in disease topics. You want to read about, okay, what are the causative agents here? What causes the symptoms? What are the pathogenesis? What are the treatment and management options I would adopt? How is it done? In this era, it's a technology era. We have Google. Ask Google. Review these things. There are processes, there are surgical procedures that are there on YouTube. Get resource materials, review them, read them. It cannot be overemphasized. They need to be well-grounded, because a lot of clients will walk in on you. They would have seen symptoms and they would have asked Dr. Google before coming to you. Like Dr. Abiodun mentioned earlier, this is not the era of saying pill labels on bottles and all of that. They are coming to you well-informed. You will have clients that are even medical doctors. You have clients that are nurses, that are medical personnel. You'll be shocked and amazed at how much information they have at their disposal. So if we as veterinarians avail ourselves of constant review, then you will be well equipped. It's one thing to have the theoretical knowledge. I will come to the practical aspect as well. Next slide, please. The practical skills. It's important that we master it. When you hear you say medical practice, hospitals are called medical practices. Why? Have we stopped to ask ourselves? It's because you are a master of what you practice. When you do things in and out, you become an expert at it. If you subject yourself to learn swimming lessons, for instance, once you're able to grab it, you know how to swim. Come 10 years time, if you jump into a body of water, you're going to swim. If you've acquired the practical skill of driving a vehicle, 2 months later, 2 years later, you are able to automate a vehicle, you will drive it. So if you acquire the required skills, you will never forget what you've been able to do with your hands. You just need to brush up from time to time. And how do we, as fresh graduates, get to have these practical skills? I'm going to discuss that as well. You have to have an analytical mind, get towards problem solving. That is, have a leadership mentality. If you are discussing with a client, do not subject yourself to be under the client. Don't let it be the client leading you with leading information. When you take detailed history, you should be able to draw up inferences from the information you've been given. Narrow down likely conditions you could be dealing with. Tentative diagnosis must be arrived at all times. You now let them know, okay, we're going to do further diagnosis, further lab work that would help us to get a confirmatory diagnosis. Read wide. If you are in a general practice, get enough experience. We've seen patients come to us that have snakes as pets, that have crocodiles, alligators as pets, that keep ostriches as pets. They'll just come in on you, parrots as pets. So it's not, we say we are small animal, companion animal doctors, and then they bring all sorts to you. Read well. And when they present you with such cases, there's nothing wrong with you excusing yourself for 1 or 2 minutes. If you are being presented with an exotic pet or animal, you will need to go and quickly do 1 or 2 reviews and research. And then you step forward and continue with your consultation. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So it's not bringing you down in any way. You have to learn that. Very important. Next slide, please. Communication and interpersonal skills is very important. When you have a pet client, a pet owner who has given you a good history, you have been able to come up with some tentative diagnosis, like I've said, then you should have a treatment option at the back of your mind. Leave open-ended statements in that our further tests is going to lead us to conclusive confirmatory diagnosis that could alter this treatment plan we have adopted. Let them know. When you've shared information, you've communicated properly at the beginning of your consultation, it makes it easier. You communicate your bill, likely outcome, the prognosis, you let them know so that it is clear on the likely outcomes, it is clear on the financial implications. You come to a consensus, an agreement of what it's going to be like. So there's no shocker for anybody. They are not going to shock you. They will tell you what they have. Not that you're halfway down the lane and then they're telling you some stories. So such is not going to happen if you spelled it, you've communicated clearly. So we have to have very good communication skills as veterinarians. How best do you learn these things other than being right there on the hot spot with perhaps a senior colleague, talking and interacting with patients and clients in the manner I've described. And then firsthand, you're able to learn. And they put you on cases as well. And then you also interact with clients and then you learn. It's medical practice. You are practicing to become perfect. You understand? Then adaptability and flexibility. Different, like I've said, they can present to you any species, different types of exotic patients. Be able to adapt. You should be able to reason offhand that, okay, what strange animal could they present? Let me see, that you've not seen before. Like, okay, I'm seeing this patient now. What are the symptoms presented? There seem to be coughing. You should be thinking about respiratory system. There is vomition or diarrhea. You're talking, or lack of those two. You're talking about the GIT being affected. You understand? So you should be able to narrow it down grossly and say, okay, whatever, no matter how strange this patient is or unfamiliar this patient is to you, it has a GIT, it has a circulatory system, it has a musculoskeletal system. I want to pass across to this client that, okay, I am a good medical doctor, a good medical veterinary doctor. So I want to be able to approach this patient, basic restraint. I want to administer an injection. What part of this patient am I to inject? You must be broadly prepared. You understand? Next slide, please. Ethical conduct. How do we maintain ethical and legal standard practices? What are the things that the law allows us? How do we not come across as having been negligent in carrying out our duties? Like I've said earlier, from taking the history, first and foremost is the way you appear as a veterinarian. I believe by now we should have known. The way you dress is the way you are dressed. We have gotten it so easy for us now. We wear medical scrubs. So how neat are you in your scrub? What kind of footwear are you putting on? Do you have a wristwatch on? How well put together? How tidy are you? Is your hair well cut? Are you well groomed? It starts from there. Because if you are looking run down, you have problem. You're already not looking ethical. There is a particular way a medical professional is expected to look. So if your look does not conform, so being ethical has to do with your presentation of yourself. The immediate environment where you are dispensing your duties has to be conforming to a minimum standard that is acceptable for a clinic. So if you've taken care of those two, how do you take down your history? Proper registration process, documentation of what and what you've done. There has to be evidential treatment. You don't go and inject people's pets without documenting your history and then your physical check, your checkup, your diagnosis, your tentative diagnosis, and then your treatment plan. Put these things down so that if you need to now add more to it, when you go back to your drawing board and you do your research, you're able to come and add flesh to your content in your case file. Because under the law, if there is need for a legal tussle, those are the things you will use to defend yourself. I did the right thing. These are the things. So if you do not have case files, what do you even have to show? It will be your word against the client's word. And the mere fact that you've not even run laboratory diagnostic tests, you did not even put things down, you did not pen things down date by date, a patient is on admission and you are not able to document each day you have attended to that patient, what you've done, what was administered, the clinical findings each day upon examination, or even sometimes you are running course of antibiotics 6 hourly, and then you do checks. The way medical doctors operate is the way we are expected to operate. Those are the ethical standards we're talking about. And I had earlier mentioned when we're identifying the challenges, the need to continuously learn, the need to study. You advance in your practice, the more you advance in your career, because whatever geological location, we have endemic cases in the area of your interest. And then if you have taken out time to study, to review, to update yourself with new scientific findings, new stuffs, methodologies of treatment, you adopt, you know. So if you're able to do all of this, then you are abreast of information. You get it. So you are up to date at all times. It's important. We don't just start talking in obsolete language compared to, we are in 2025. Some of us finished school 2004. What we were learning there are some of those things that are no longer even relevant now. There are new drugs that have come out that weren't there then. We've had to research, we've had to learn them, we have to apply them to our practices. So the need for continuous learning cannot be overemphasized at all. Next slide, please. I think that's my talk.
Oh, it's
yeah, great. Thank you, Dr. Vivian.
Hello,
so here we're talking about building a network. A tree cannot make a forest. The screen is gone.
Oh, let me share from you now.
Okay.
So
yes, thank you. So we're talking about building a network. I was saying a tree does not make a forest, not even at this stage where we are finding ourselves. You have to network. with colleagues and mentors. You have to go out, you have to Google. Thank God for search engines now. Veterinary practices in in ruminants in my area. Search it, they will come up. Be bold enough, walk up to them. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, ma. I'm Dr. So and so. I want to extern with you, or I want to intern with you. Externship is for erstwhile established vets. I can see, oh, even as I am now, you have an equipment you brought in, and then you're using it. I can come and extern with you for like a week or over a weekend or a month to come and learn how it's been done. It's not a big deal. We are professionals. It's expected. Those are best international practices that is being done everywhere. No man is an island of knowledge. Be ready to interact and learn. You understand? And it never ends. I can learn from you. You can learn from me. No man is a custodian of knowledge. And we've discussed before now, work-life balance. I've said a lot. You have to manage stress so it will not get to you. I've said, if you cannot employ a veterinarian or you are employed in a veterinary practice, you people should sit down, come to a round table and give room for breaks. In our practice now, a doctor is expected to work for minimum of 5 days average in a week. You will have 2 days. Might not be 2 consecutive days, might not be 2 weekends. At least you will do 1 weekend shift, maybe a Sunday one in a month. And then you will, within a week, you have minimum of 2 days to rest, to go out, socialize. It's important. There is a way it tells on you. So it's very important. Finally, we are coming to tips for success. Number 1, I've said, stay curious. Do not think it's the kind of studying we underwent when we were in school. It's not reading under duress. Trust me, it's easy. The way you Google or you search for information on social matters, if you search for information on certain diseases or areas of interest, it will amaze you how you're able to retain those information. It's without duress, so it stays. No anxiety. So that way you're able to update yourself with latest developments in medicine. I've said networking. Do not be an island. Attend conferences, workshops, like what we're doing now, seminars, online webinars like this. You understand? This helps us to build our confidence and experience. Next slide, please. I've mentioned earlier the skill development. Skill development. That's when I was talking about practice. What you do, muscle memory, what you have done before, you do not tend to forget. You have to acquire those skills. No matter how much we are speaking to you now, no matter how much I'm explaining to you how to perform a cesarean section, if you do not join a team and experience it, and you are given a scalpel and you make the incision, you suture, you touch, you feel the layers, the muscular layers that you're going to suture, you will not know. It remains in your mind, but it's not something you're able to do because you did not practice it. And that's why I said it's a medical practice. And what you practice, you become perfect at it. That's it. So we have to what? Identify the need to attach ourselves to existing medical practitioners that we can learn from practically, not theoretically this time. We've been given a lot of theoretical information while in training at school. advocate for your patients. To be successful, a client comes and is like, my patient has doing this, my pet did this, da, 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 da. I can actually do without this pet. You have to now be the voice of that pet. Oh, Sama, this pet has this value, this and that, has been with you for how long? Be the advocate. Because at the end of the day, that is your patient. It's not really the client that is your patient. The patient, the pet is your patient. So when you advocate for them, their well-being, what you're going to do, that you are able to communicate how much you are willing to sacrifice as the medical doctor, that you are willing to go to this extra mile to save this patient. 9 out of 10 times, you build the interest of the client in trying to save the patient. We see this in cases of maybe there's need for blood transfusion. You see a client saying, oh, there's no need, he doesn't want to pay for it. But there's a way you can advocate for that patient, and you see the client say, okay, how much could you give me a discount? Then you negotiate. Yeah. Next slide, please. I've said stress management. Developing coping mechanisms that helps you to manage the demands and pressures of the profession. When you have to run such long schedules, it's very difficult. So let's always find time to take breaks, well-deserved breaks, rest, ensure the quality of life we're living is exemplary and is worth it. Be a leader. Learn to be responsible. Now you are out there. You are no longer an undergraduate. You're not looking up to anybody to come and save you. Put yourself out there. Lead yourself first. Lead yourself to take the right decisions, to position yourself to aspire for greatness. You understand? So you have to be able to lead yourself as an individual, to do the needful, then you'll be able to lead others. That's what to position you to be a great person, to be a successful person. And then most importantly, seek mentorship. All of these skills we have been talking about since the beginning of my presentation, I'm going to summarize into the need for mentorship. It can never be overemphasized, because all of those experiences that are required, how to build, how to treat, how to diagnose, how to restrain patients, the technical know-how, the exposure in surgery, you will acquire through mentorship. It doesn't have to be long periods. I've said you can be an intern, you can be an extern. You can attach yourself 2 hours in a week to a practice. Knowledge you will acquire on the field as in 2 hours as a veterinarian, in 2 hours per week. Do you know what it will sum up to at the end of a year? It's a lot. For those of us that are proceeding on our NYSC journey, this is not the time to be doing oblate about. This is not the time to have fun the whole year, because time waits for nobody. Before you know it, the 1 year period is over. You find yourself where you started. Do not let that be your story. Even if you are posted to an inactive place, I've said, use your search engines. Search out the practices that are within your locality. Money is not a problem. No sane senior veterinarian is going to ask you to pay to acquire knowledge. That person must not be normal. They will encourage you. Go confidently. Meet them. Be polite. Please, sir or ma, can I attach myself to you as an extern? And if it's as an intern? Yes, the economy is bad. If you don't, there's a lot you will do with self-development, a lot you will do exposed to. You will gain experiences that took people 10 years to gain. You gain it in a day, in a week, in a year, in a month. Expose yourself. Put yourself out there. Keep prejudices apart. Whatever information you could have, misconceptions, keep them apart. We're in the physical world now, practical world. Get your hands moving. Dare to dream. Dream to be whatever you aspire to be. Write things down. I want to be this. I dream to be this. You start taking baby steps towards that. Do not be in a hurry in life. Step by step, step by step, you get closer, you edge closer to your dreams being actualized. Is important. Volunteering is a very fantastic way of acquiring knowledge. You don't need to volunteer full-time, like I've said. It could be just 1 hour a weekend. It could be the whole weekend, depending on how much you burn for practical acquisition of knowledge. Exposure is how much you apply yourself to it. But if we could have made sacrifices to go through vet school for 6 years, some of us 8, 10 years, please, the 1 year you would use with your mentor, I don't think it's too much. And mentorship is a lifetime stuff. I have people that mentor me as well. I have senior colleagues that have been in practice 35, 38, 40 years that are my mentors. Nobody, like I said earlier, is a custodian of knowledge. And I round up my presentation by reminding us that an hospital is called a medical practice for a reason. And that's to enable us as medical practitioners to practice hands-on. Please. Thank you. Dr. Abiodun.
Yes, ma. Thank you. I was trying to stop the screen. Thank you so much, ma. Please, can we appreciate Dr. Tessie? Just drop
Thanks
the
for
emoji.
the opportunity.
Thank you so much, ma, for that very rich section. I'm sure that we have questions. So what we are going to do, we'll just take 1 or 2 questions. Then we are going to send the questions on our WhatsApp platform. We would communicate to Dr. Tessie for any question that we want to ask her, because we cannot keep her on this call for so long. It's already past 10. And so we'll just take 1 or 2 questions, just your hands up, and we ask the question. Any question, please, for Dr. Tessie, for Dr. Shedrack? All right, I will just ask a question. Okay, who is that?
I mean, they should just indicate, because I muted everyone. They should just raise their hands or drop it in the chat.
Okay. All right, so just raise your hand or drop in the chat. Well, while we anticipate that, let me just ask a question as we round off. Ma, this current dispensation, or let me say this our generation, we have I'm giving it to Dr. Shedrack and Dr. Tessie now. There's this pandemic of wanting to be famous, wanting to be known. You know, you are a new vet and you want everybody to know you. You have opened social media, Instagram, TikTok, and everything, doing content. And what's your take on focusing on being famous as a young vet? Because, you know, before you know, everybody wants to go viral, to know that, oh, I'm a vet and this and that. Are there consequences? Is it what we should focus on? Can you just tilt us in the right direction, you know, on about wanting to be famous as a veterinarian? So maybe I will have Dr. Shedrack, then Dr. Tessie. Then we have another question: should intern vets be paid? All right, so we'll just take those 2 questions and we go.
Okay.
Dr. Shedrack,
Yes, thank you, Dr. Abiodun. Thank you so much, Dr. Tessie, for the very detailed presentation. So on wanting to be famous, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so you see this thing about you know, wanting to be famous as opposed to focusing on your calling. I think it's a misnomer, and it's an unfortunate reality, because we there's this gold rush for attaining a celebrity status. But one thing we mistake is that you don't attain a celebrity status by building an empty space. Let's move away from the veterinary space and pick an example from Tunde Onakoyo, this chest to slum guy, who recently just set a new chess world record. That guy has been in that business for the last 10 years of grinding back to back. He's literally opening or busting open doors, selling chessboards for #1 million per piece across different parts of Nigeria. Some they are literally paying and he's moving. Some people are literally doing bets to say, oh, if you play and you win, you take my car. But what am I saying? He didn't just start off wanting to be famous or showing himself. Build substance. That substance is what is going to blow you up. If there's no substance and you end up blowing yourself, because we have seen so-called celebrities or people seek fame without substance. You go up there, the world sees you, and before we blink, you vanish like snow under the sun. So you need to build substance first. And it's that substance that will literally announce you. Take away your eyes from the famous thing. Be so good at what you're doing. It's others that would amplify what you're doing. And we have seen that example happen over and over again. So this will be my thought. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Tess.
Yes, please. That was a wonderful one from Dr. Shedrack. Makes a whole lot of sense. That's my take on it as well. Expatiating on that, you cannot give what you don't have. We have all the theory. We've been taught everything, though we cannot readily bring them to book because of the volume of information we've been loaded with in our undergraduate days. So what do you do is what we've been talking about, and hence the need for this seminar to redirect and orientate us in the right direction to say, practice. What do you want to showcase? Theory? No. What social media, no doubt, is the next big thing. It's going to announce you. It's going to announce what you are good at. It's going to announce your excellence. It's going to project what you know. It will do the same thing to your fallacy if you do not know what you're doing. And there's no magic to it than you practicing with your hands. Once you acquire those knowledge by practice, you excel. It makes the journey shorter. But you have to first grind. You have to make sacrifices. You have to dig down. Let your tap roots be well deep, grounded, so that you acquire the required experiences. And that is what will form the basis on which you are making noise. That's when you showcase what you have got. And what you see, we get a lot of calls from social media, from Google, from TikTok, from Instagram. Yes, that's because they see the work we do. So acquire the practical experience, and the sky self will not be able to limit you. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, ma. The other question I think has been answered also, asking should intern vets be paid while attached to a practice? I think you are going there to learn. Maybe Dr. Tessie will still talk about that. We are going there to learn. I don't think you should focus on payments, but let me allow her just round off with that, with the answer to the question. Ma, should intern vets be paid while attached to a practice? Then we'll call it a night.
Actually, it's two-faced. It's two-faced. It's a two-faced situation. It depends on, as a practice, you can have had so much practical experience. It's one thing to have seen a lot of patients. It's another to have broken even, to be able to say, okay, of all of these patients I've treated in the last 1 year, this is how much I've set aside as profits. So we have not come here today. We've not discussed the financial management in practice. It's a whole ball game of its own. So if you're a good financial manager, you will have leverage on the income and garnered a lot of funds for yourself. If the practice is well off financially, yes, they would have or see the need to pay their interns. But if it's a practice that has got all the exposure, they have patients and they're not so financially well off, they might give a little or not be able to give more. For interns that come to us, we pay as much as or as little as 80K. We try to give accommodation to help. We know what the economy is like, transport, because you see young vets, I'll say, oh, I want to do 1 month, or please, ma, I want to intern with you for the next 6 months before my service. We've had people brought on board like that, and they end up even serving with us, and before they will now go back to the East or something. So we pay, but that is because, to the glory of God, we have been able to break even, something you are doing for the past 20 years, and then the grace and the, somehow we're able to afford it. But if you see that the locality where you are, the vet practice is struggling financially, but the face behind the practice has got the kind of experience you require, you might even have a better financial orientation than you can see some professors that have so much knowledge, how they are, or you see some doctors, even human medics, that are so good, they're sound. There's no surgery they cannot perform. There's no aspects they are not good at, but they are not good with managing funds. You might be a better fund manager than even your mentor. What you are looking at is acquisition of the practical knowledge. Then you will not put money first. Follow them, foot to foot, acquire the knowledge you require, and then you go and blow and make funds. You cannot start today and be comfortable today. No. Ask people, they have stories to tell. There is always a time to bloom. There is a time to sow. So do not despise the days of the little beginnings. That's what we are taught. So there will be that little time. Please conform to it if the means to pay you is not there. And I saw a question that should ambulatory practices take in mentors or interns and mentees? Why not? There are experiences that would have been acquired in the course of that as well. You gather it. It depends on where your area of interest is. When you join a practice or a senior colleague, if you're not getting anything, you will know. This is 1 + 1 = 2. You will know. You know where you were at when you joined in, you know where you want to be, and you know where you will be after a certain period. There's no hard and fast rule about this. And then, can mentors encourage freshmen vets to read clinical practice books stocked in the clinic? Why not? I've said read, seek information. Why? You shouldn't be tired of reading. Acquire as much information. I read every day. I still read. I see cases, I review. You see human medics, they read. You are preparing for a surgery, you're a surgeon, you're a consultant surgeon, you still go back and do your review of your basic anatomy of that area. And then you come in and you excel in that. So it's a never-ending process. Acquisition of skill, acquisition of knowledge, refreshing yourself is continuous. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you so much. In fact, I cannot thank you enough. You cannot start today and be comfortable today. That one it's hard. Because me, I'm looking for money. Oh. but Dr. Tessa have encouraged me. You cannot start today and be comfortable today. Thank you so
Money
much.
will always
Thank you.
come. You're welcome.
Yes, ma.
Thank you, Doc.
Thank you, Dr. Shedrak. Thank you, everybody who joined. I know that we had to stretch a 17-minute extra, but I'm sure that you all can, testify that it is worth it. So the group is still open, and you can always drop your questions, your review of the webinar. And if you have questions for Dr. Tessie, she's a mother. You can always reach her, and or if you want to communicate the questions to us, then we send it to her. I will send the reply or our responses on the group. So on behalf of Vet Konekt, I want to really appreciate our speaker, Dr. Tessie, and also I don't want to commonize or be too familiar. Thank you so much for joining us and for speaking to us as a mother and also a very senior colleague in the profession. We see what you do and we are so proud. That's why we can, always want to be associated with you. Thank you so much for raising the standard, and we are so proud of what you are doing. Thank you so much, man. Thank you, Dr. Shedrack. Thank you for the platform. Thank you for Vet Konekt. It's Vet Konekt that brought every one of us here today. Thank you so much. And thank you, Dr. Abiodun, for hosting. And a big thanks to a big thanks to every vet that joined. Probably because of time, I know that some had to drop. We started with about 44, and we are down to 29. So thank you for the 29 that stayed at the end of till the end of the webinar. It's 10:19, and by 10:20, I'm sure that we would be going out of the call. So thank you so much. Please ensure to visit the website www.vetkonekt.com, Vetkonekt with a K, and sign up there. You can sign up your clinic, you can sign up your pet shop, you can sign up as a vet. And if you have any question, please reach out to us, and we are going to reach out back to you. Please, the recording will be available soon. Watch, listen, and listen, and listen again. And I'm sure that it's going to resonate with you, and you're going to gain a lot from this. Don't just assume you've gotten everything that have been said today. Listen, watch it again on YouTube, and I'm sure that you would learn again as you listen again. So thank you so much from Vet Konekt. I want to say a very big thank you to everybody for joining. Till our next webinar, I wish us a very wonderful night rest. Bye-bye.
Good night. Bye.
Thank you, Ma. Good night, Ma.